Bill number 180649A, entitled an ordinance amending Title IX of the Philadelphia Code entitled Regulation of Businesses, Trades, and Professions by adding a new chapter to require certain covered employers to provide fair work week employment standards for certain employees, including but not limited to reasonable notice of schedules, rest time between shifts, and opportunities for additional hours, and providing for enforcement and penalties.
Chair recognizes Councilwoman Gym.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. It's a good day for justice in Philadelphia. It's a good day to do something decent, good, and bold in our city, because it's time for a fair work week in Philadelphia. In the poorest large city in America, it's time to take a stand not just on poverty, but on the circumstances which allow poverty to exist and even profit from it. Because we can talk about poverty in this city until we're blue in the face, or we can do something about it. And today, we choose to do something. I'm proud to be part of a city council that has been a national leader in passing legislation for paid sick days, pay equity, and ending wage theft. I'm grateful for my co-sponsors and the supporters of this bill, Councilwoman Maria Quinones-Sanchez, Mark Squilla, Bobby Heenan, Janie Blackwell, Curtis Jones, Kenyatta Johnson, Bill Greenlee, all champions for economic justice. And thank you too to former council member Wilson Good Jr. I walk in your shoes. And thank you, Council President Clark, for your leadership and walking me through this. This is a city council that has fought to uplift working families, not by simply cheerleading jobs at any cost, but by recognizing we have to care about the quality of our jobs as much as we do the quantity of them. Last year, 300,000 Philadelphians reported being food insecure and going hungry. 80% of them were working Philadelphians with jobs. In the wealthiest city in the country, in a city where we have corporate towers that can kiss the sky, where we've got corporations like Marriott and American Airlines that have taken $180 million in new tax cuts. Poverty is our greatest sin. This council has both the legislative authority and the moral duty to take a stand against poverty and the abusive practices that allow some of the most successful businesses in the world to profit from the exploitation of tens of thousands of workers in our city who don't know when or how much they'll work. The unstable schedules, which are a hallmark of the service industry, must come to an end. And on each step of the way, this campaign for a fair work week has been led by a diverse and unstoppable coalition of people demanding solutions and working for them. Last February, hundreds of workers took to the streets to demand a fair work week, with a formal launch of a campaign that had been a year in the making. Today is for you. It's for 19-year-old Notori Price, who went on TV to share that she took care of 7 family members, including a sick mother, and talked about an unstable schedule that puts her entire family's livelihood and health in jeopardy. Today is for Symphony and her daughter. Symphony, who talked about how she feared about even telling her employer she was a mother in case she wasn't scheduled for enough hours. Today is for every single Sky Chef worker, many of whom are immigrants, who make the first-class meals for flights which cost as much as several months' pay. It's for every hotel worker waiting by the phone and hoping to be called in, worried about whether there's enough money for rent. It's for restaurant workers who worry whenever their shifts get canceled or suddenly cut. Today is for every working mom and dad, for every young person and returning citizen working towards a better life for themselves. It's for the countless people in our city who have bravely told me their stories about their families and their dreams of working for a future brighter than today. You changed all of us with your stories. You took the conventional narrative about poverty and turned it upside down on its head. This idea that somehow poverty is inevitable, especially for Black, brown, and immigrant families and communities, when in reality, poverty is manufactured. You remind us You remind us what it means to be relentless in the pursuit of a nation in which prosperity is shared by all of us, not just a privileged few. And this packed chamber is a testament to the power of your voices and the belief that Reverend Holston said, that this is a movement, as much as it is a moment. Philadelphia's Fair Workweek bill will be the most expansive in the country. It will cover tens of thousands of workers in big chain retail, food service, and hospitality sectors. It guarantees that working people will know when they'll work, how much they'll work, and they'll get a path out of poverty. This is a floor and not a ceiling. We can't raise the shameful minimum wage for everyone in this state, but today we can make darn sure that the folks making the lowest incomes have the schedules and hours they need and can count on. I'm proud to say that we have not rushed this legislation. We have not suspended the rules. Over the course of this process, strong bridges have been built between our thriving business community and our advocates. We established a robust and unprecedented business labor community roundtables led in partnership by our Philadelphia AFL-CIO and Chamber of Commerce leaders. And we have changed, edited, and evolved this bill to its current state. This bill has been continually amended for businesses, but with the collaboration of our community and labor advocates, and with the central belief that this bill will protect workers. I want to thank business leaders, Uncle Bobby's, Cake Life, Sustainable Business Network, who support this bill because they know that caring for our employees is not only good for workers, it's good for business. Businesses have not only been heard, they've been at the table. And the changes that have evolved through the bill have reflected the sincere respect, engagement, and collaboration our office has taken from the start. And I want to thank our labor partners who are a ride or die crew in their defense and uplifting of working families, whether in a union or not. They are fighting for all of us. And above all, I want to thank this room. I want to thank this room of organizers, union members, parents and grandparents, educators, advocates, policy wonks. You brought us here today. You have not only been courageous, you have been fearless. You prove that our politics are only as strong as our movements, and I am grateful each and every day to be part of a legislative body that serves you. So today we are here to say yes, yes to working families, yes to smart business. Today, in the poorest big city in the nation, we put people over profits. Mr. Chairman, let's vote.
Thank you. Chair recognizes Councilman O'Neill.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll be voting against this bill. And when there's a pause, I can explain.
Come on.
I voted for a good cause today. I'm going to vote for minimum wage. I want to explain why, even though I agree with everything Helen said, Councilwoman Gym said, because I know how hard she's worked on it. And I agree with everything in there except one thing, but it's a major thing for me. And that is, it does not exempt collective bargaining agreements. It should exempt collective bargaining agreements. People that are protected by a bargaining agreement, collective bargaining agreement, don't fit the categories, I believe, that we're talking about with the large corporations, all the things that you mentioned. The scheduling bill makes sense in a lot of ways. All you have to do is talk to somebody in that situation. I do not believe, well, let me just say.
Come on, order, please.
And I have to leave the chamber and may not be back before it's over. I want to vote no on this bill for the reason I just explained, and also yes on all other bills, including minimum wage and both amendments. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Okay. Thank you for order. This bill Bill number 180649-A having been read on 2 different days, the question now, shall the bill pass finally? Mr. Decker, would you please call the roll?
Councilwoman Bass. Councilwoman Blackwell. Councilman Dom. Councilman Green. Councilman Greenlee. Councilwoman Gim. Councilman Johnson. Councilman Jones. Councilman O'Neill is voting nay. Councilman O. Councilwoman Parker. Councilwoman Gunnar Sanchez. Councilwoman Reynolds Brown. Councilman Squilla. Councilman Taubenberger. Council President Clark is voting aye.
It was already pre-recorded. Voting aye.
Councilman Heenan.
Aye. The ayes are 14, the nays are 3.